economy.
You can't say, I don't want any risk. I don't want to take any risk. I just want to put my money in a CD and forget about it. But I want to earn 18% a year. It doesn't work that way.
Conservative talk radio you can count on.
Once again, Steve Forbes. Hey, Steve, how are you?
Dan, good to be with you.
Financial Issues with Dan Celia.
Hi, Dan. I just want you to know how much I really appreciate the passion that you have.
Aligning reality with truth.
And I've got Congresswoman Bachman with us right now.
So I just want to thank you. I want to thank your listeners.
We need to save America and keep it intact for our children and grandchildren.
Now, here's your host, Dan Celia.
American Family Radio Network, Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia, all the major indices in negative territory. We're going to get back to the phones. 866-392-98. Before I do that, I told you consumer sentiment numbers were going to come out, right? Well, this is the final look, folks, for the month of July. So the numbers did come out, and consumer sentiment falls to 82.1 for the month of August. Falls compared to the month of July, that is. So consumer sentiment down. So, you know, it's they were expecting, I think they were expecting it to be 81.2. So they got 82.1. So it was better than expectations. Still not the 84, whatever it was in July, but nevertheless, it's down. So having said all that, this is all you need to know. Consumer confidence is trending in the wrong direction. It was people felt better about the economy and thereby feeling better about spending money in the economy in the month of July than they do for the month of August. That's all you need to know. Well, it might help to know this, too. That's not a good thing. Okay, it's going in the wrong direction. And by the way, I said this yesterday. I'm still trying to figure out how there is a correlation. Well, I'm not trying to figure out. There is no correlation between the Michigan consumer sentiment number, which is more of a private sector number, not a government number. If there's any correlation between the government numbers, there isn't any. There isn't any. So for GDP to be up, for the numbers inside the GDP number to be up, there is no correlation because you can strip away everything, and ultimately the only thing that matters, folks, is are consumers feeling good and ready to spend? That is what Ben Bernanke for 3.5 years has been trying desperately, and I do mean desperately, to do. Make you and I feel better. That's what it means to create a wealth effect. Ben, I said 3.5 years ago, because I'm sure you're listening, Ben. I said 3.5 years ago it wasn't going to work. The reason I said that is because you, Ben, a zillion times smarter than I am, did not take into consideration behavioral analytics whatsoever, did not take into consideration, as I did, that baby boomers who control most of the money and the wealth in this country have had it. I believed then, and it's been proven to be right now, that baby boomers are finished with the markets. They're finished with wealth effect. They're finished with all the garbage because it's the third time in their careers that they have seen their 401ks, their IRAs, their savings dramatically decline because of a bubble burst. And now they're a lot closer to retirement than they were 9 years ago, 10 years ago. They're not going through it again. They're just not going to do it. And I think that's proving out. So consumer sentiment numbers down, but not as bad as everybody expected, so you would think that would be some good news, but the markets aren't even budging on the news. Chicago Fed PMI numbers came out looking at manufacturing. That went up from 52.3 to 53, meaning 50 means no change. Below 50 means that the manufacturing sector is contracting. That's not good news, right? Anything above 50 means it's expanding. So it went up to 53, means there is some good activity, a little bit of a gain in manufacturing. That would kind of stand to reason based on the same number we saw coming out, an unbelievable number. I'm still not believing it, coming out of the Fed, the Richmond Fed. So anyway, it is up to 53. It's up 0.7% compared to July. So August up. So that should be good news. But none of that move in the markets. The Dow's down 33. All the indices in negative territory. Let me get back to the phones, 866-300-9298. Let me go to Stephen. Stephen calling us from Texas. Hey, Stephen.
Hi. Hey, how's it going, Dan?
Good.
I had a question about TSP retirements and the Roth that they offer now. I've been putting in for about a year on the Roth. Is that in danger of them borrowing from it like they did from the TSP?
Yes. Yeah, they've already borrowed from the TSP program. It's still under the TSP, so it's still under the same program. It's just a different type of account that they're offering. So yes, that won't be exempt from any kind of borrowing.
Should I lower my with what I'm investing down to only what they're matching, and then move everything over into a private account, or what?
How old are you, Stephen?
I'm 37.
I don't know, Stephen. I've got mixed emotions about that. I get that question a lot. I would not. I mean, I think it's important that you continue to save. There may be a day that I say it looks like there could be an issue. I think that what is one thing that you need to do, and by the way, whatever you're contributing, if you're contributing 5%, I would split it between the two, between a Roth and the one that you have been contributing to. I wouldn't totally drop the traditional TSP and move everything you're doing over into the Roth. I wouldn't do that. I would contribute to both. But I think that what you need to continue to accumulate, I hope one of the things that you will do along with others once October rolls around, and we will now have an increase to the debt ceiling that will have been, passed, because it is going to get passed. So they're going to pass to increase the debt ceiling. And you need to call your legislators, your representatives in Virginia, in Texas, and ask them, you want to know, has the Treasury Department, since they got this increase, have they written the check to replenish, to actually pay off the IOU that they put in the TSP program? And it's very important that, good, because it's very important that every single federal worker in October makes that phone call. Every single federal worker this October has to make that phone call. And so that's what's important. So I hope I'm going to be able to give you a heads up to say to everybody listening to me, hey, if you're in a TSP program, it's time to move it. It's time to cut it down. It's time to move any other discretionary income that you're putting in there over and above the match. It's time to move that over into your own IRA. I hope I'm able to give everybody a heads up when something looks like it's changing. Yeah. All right, Stephen.
Well, thank you for
great stuff. You're welcome. Thank you, and I appreciate your calling your legislator. Speaking of calling legislators, folks, Mary Landrieu, go to my website, financialissues.org. All her phone numbers are there. She is a supporter, a lover of Obamacare. She said she would vote for it again. She said that the American healthcare system is shameful compared to those great countries of France and Spain and their healthcare system. She is a proponent of single-payer, government-socialized medicine. She's made no bones about it, even though the state of Louisiana's citizens are 62% against it. She doesn't care about that. She doesn't care about the people that are paying her paycheck. And we need to call her. Everybody in the nation needs to call her and call her out on it. Let's load her phone lines up. And you need to do that. Today's our last day for her, although you can continue to do it. But her stuff is on my website, all her phone numbers, financial issues down. Financialissues.org, and down in the lower corner is an accountability corner. Next week, Monday, we will be highlighting a new legislator that we are going to be hammering on. So make sure that you check that out and you make those phone calls, because it's important for America, for our country, that you let them know that the American people aren't going to stand by, that you will work and do everything you can to help to see that she does not get reelected. And that you're going to do everything you can. If you live in the state of Louisiana, yes, let her know you're not voting for her, but also let her know that you're going to work to whoever her opponent ends up being to make sure that she does not get reelected. And it's important that we let them know that the people are not going to stand idly by. So we've got to continue to do that. We're approaching, don'tfundit.com is approaching 800,000 signatures on that petition. It's just a matter of time. Short order, it's going to be 2 million. And those in Capitol Hill are going to realize that the new Republican Party, the new conservatives, are speaking out and speaking up. That the Tea Party conservatives that the old guard Republicans hate so much are standing up and speaking up. And sure appreciate that. So I hope you'll do that. Let me go to Daniel. Daniel calling us from Arkansas. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Dan, how's it going? I just wanted to talk to you. Hello?
Yep, go ahead.
Hello? Oh, I just wanted to talk to you real quick I hear that everybody's going to be penalized the same way with Obamacare, but my question kind of lies is, if you are on a high plan or a low plan, does that matter? I mean, do we get any kind of credit for that? Or how does that work out on this Obamacare? I mean, is everybody going to be treated the same as long as you have insurance? Or
No. Everybody, from a credit standpoint, not everybody's going to be treated the same. So if you're in some of the lower income brackets, you'll get higher credits for being on some sort of program than you will if you're in a higher income bracket. So from that standpoint, no, you're not going to be treated equally.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, I was wondering because I make, I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I just open enrollment right now, and I'm kind of worried if, do I need to be on a higher end? Do I get, penalized for being on a lower end bracket of insurance? Higher end?
Oh, I'm sorry. Daniel, I misunderstood your question. I'm sorry. No, it doesn't, so what ultimately is going to matter is not the plan that you have. So if you are on a plan that has a very high deductible, it's the inexpensive. You're looking at a plan and saying, I'm just going to get the most inexpensive plan I can get. I'm healthy, but I need to have something. No, that's fine. You'll get credit for that. In other words, it doesn't matter that whether you have inexpensive, the one of the more inexpensive plans of Blue Cross and Blue Shield, or one of their Cadillac plans. It doesn't matter. You'll be okay. I think I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I was thinking tax credit when you say credit. Okay, so hopefully that helps. So you're okay. You're okay. You do what you can afford.
Okay, and I had another real quick comment. I've worked in the industry of restaurants for about 15 years now, and it just hurts my heart on Sundays. All the servers, I'm a Christian, and I know you're a Christian man as well. It hurts my heart on Sundays that servers across any restaurant I've ever gone to, they call it Hell Sunday. And maybe you can help me get the word out that, they talk about giving in church and stuff, and then servers make $2.13 an hour, and they complain more than any day about waiting on church people because they say that they don't come in, they real rude people sometimes, and they just don't give. So maybe we can use that as helping people know that when they go out and treat these servers, that those, I hear servers talk negative about Christians all the time.
Yeah. Daniel, you know what? That's a great point, because those Christian folks going out on a Sunday are to be a testimony to the grace of God, to the goodness of God, and they're to be a testimony to those. So great point. I'm going to work on that. We'll be right back after this. Hi, this is Dan Celia at Financial Issues. Would you consider partnering with me on financialissues.org? Go to financialissues.org if you would like to get all of my financial information, my asset allocation models, my stock picks for the week. Be a part of my alert system, email alert system every week. Financialissues.org to do so. Go to financialissues.org. I know you won't regret it.
Portable digital devices. So practical, so simple, so dangerous. Kids are back in school and books are being replaced with iPads and tablets, opening new areas of learning and new areas of risk. Accountability, protection, and tamper resistance are just some of